the roof because I said Luck is a generational quarterback. And what that meant was they were expecting him to be, if not the best, one of the best quarterbacks in the league and compete for Super Bowls. That's going to leave a mark. I'm going to just leave this with you guys. This was a tweet that went out just a moment ago by the Athletics Colts reporter. His name's Zach Kiefer, and he said, probably no surprise, but fans are calling Colts headquarters today demanding refunds for their season tickets. I don't think this is going away anytime soon.
Ahead, well, this is fresh. It's still fresh, though. Will, you got
it is.
Yeah, it's fresh. And when you say a generational quarterback, in 7 years, he's won the division. He's been to AFC Championship game. You go and you look at Peyton Manning and you look at that. That's a Hall of Fame quarterback that spent the majority of his career in Indianapolis. I would argue and say that Andrew Luck, when healthy, was on track to being that replacement of Peyton Manning. He was certainly doing great things when he was healthy. So I don't want to say that it was a disappointment. I would look at the health. I would look at the offensive line that they didn't surround him with. Outside of T.Y. Hilton, there was no real playmakers on the outside perimeter. They went out and got Devin Funchess for those reasons. They tried to shore up the offensive line. They tried to address some issues on defense. They finally have surrounded Andrew Luck with some talent to be very successful and worthy of that number one pick.
And he walks away.
Well, listen, he walked away, but the reality,
he didn't walk away.
That's not fair, Will.
That is not fair at all. He didn't walk away. He made a decision that it was best for him and his family to move in another direction, which doesn't mean that he won't resurface at some point in the future.
Keyshawn, let me go here. Let me go, and Will, stay here with me.
I'm here.
First of all, let me be very, very clear. I am in no way trying to denigrate Andrew Luck. I understand why he walked away. Listen, if you're experiencing that kind of pain, your pain threshold is what it is. And remember, he missed an entire season in 2017. But people forget prior to that, he missed damn near half of the previous season because of a lacerated kidney. So it's the lacerated kidney. It's the 2 shoulder surgeries. It's the calf. It's the ankle. And he's talking about rehab, and what he's going through. And it's not just about Sundays. It's about the 6 days during the week that you prep to get ready for Sunday afternoons. And so when he's looking at that, again, I understand it. I don't think I don't look at him as a quitter. I don't denigrate him in that regard, even though I think if it was some other people, they would be judged far more harshly than he is. But I don't think that would be fair either. All I'm saying about the fans are this, and I'm not defending it per se.
We said it was fair.
It's fair because of the timing. Right. I'm saying to you that if he had retired, when I talked to you about Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, if he had retired early, I don't think that happens. I think the fan reaction wasn't that, oh, my God, he quit. The fan reaction was like, damn it, it's a week and a half to go before the season.
I get it.
That's what. So in other words, if the fans, now if they were throwing stuff at him and they were engaging in hooliganism and all of this other stuff, that would be different. But you yourself said the fans' job is to be a fan. All they did was boo in the moment that they found out that a week and a half before the season, the man is walking away from the game. Okay. So I think we got to contextualize that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you clearly don't like the timing, but to an earlier point that Keyshawn was making, and I want to pose it to all of you, is it possible that this is not permanent? Perhaps Andrew Luck takes some times off, mentally refreshes, body feels better. Do you think he could unretire?
To piggyback off of what Keyshawn said, and Keyshawn, he can elaborate more extensively on that. I personally believe Andrew Luck is going to come back. I think that
you want to believe that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think you want to believe that.
But I don't believe that him, as good as he is.
I know, and that's why we're so disappointed.
As good as he is, I think once the body heals, if he steps away from the game for a year, maybe even 2 years, and the Indianapolis Colts are still contending, and you're looking at them and saying, they got everything but a quarterback,
They got that now.
That's what I'm saying if the situation stays that way.
Keyshawn, why do you think he's
pain-free? And he's pain-free.
Will, I think he's going to come back because much like Stephen A. say, once you step away from the game and your body starts to heal, he's going to feel good in about 3 or 4 months. He's going to feel good. Plus, the Indianapolis Colts will see what they got in Jacoby Brissett. They will look at that team. If it doesn't go well with Jacoby Brissett, I promise you, mark my words, they will be knocking on that young man's door. They will be convincing him. Frank Wright will be taking a private plane. Think about all the great quarterbacks that retired and came back. Or the ones that had promising careers that came back. Brett Favre came back 2 or 3 times, okay? Our own Josh McCown just came back, for crying out loud.
let's take this.
It happens
I think you
at
both
that
are
position.
arguing. I think you're both arguing what you want, and I want it too because
No,
it
it's
feels
not. It's not what I
unfulfilled.
want. It's what I've seen in this league. It's not
Okay,
what I
here's
want.
what I've seen. Okay, Keyshawn, fine. I think your analogy is off. Here's what I would say. Brett Favre was a guy that hung on to the very last minute. In, out. I'm back, I retire. Look at the guys, instead of like Brett Favre, who are more similar to Andrew Luck, who called it quits early in their career. Gale Sayers, Jim Brown,
I wasn't
Barry
around.
Sanders,
I wasn't around.
Charles Johnson. Did any of them come back?
I wasn't around. I wasn't around for
That's
this.
unfair.
Well, I'm not trying to make you seem
I got
old,
him, King.
Keyshawn.
I got him,
finish the point. You'll get me, but let me
You
finish
brought
the point.
Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson up. Remember, they were disgusted with the situation
And
in Detroit.
Calvin
That ain't Andrew Luck's
Johnson,
But
situation.
listen, all I'm saying is if you look at the guys who retire early, who surprise us, like Andrew Luck just did, they don't come back. There's a resoluteness to them. And the Colts said it this week. They knew as recently as 2 or 3 weeks ago he was considering this. And Reich and Irsay and Ballard all tried to give him his space and his time. And they said, was at total peace with this.
Hey, Will, everybody in the moment, when general managers and coaches are talking to you about not retiring, that's right now. Let it heal. Let him heal for a little bit. Let him miss the game. Let the coaches start to call him. Let teammates start to call him. Let him look at television and see highlights. Let him feel it a little bit. And I promise you, he's going to think about coming back. And when you talk about those players that retired early, Kelvin Johnson was on a bad team, man.
That's right.
Dude went 0-16 once upon a time in his career.
And Barry
You
Sanders was playing
retired
for
too.
Bobby Ross.
But doesn't
and
that
couldn't stand him.
Hey, doesn't that illustrate my
the
point?
Indianapolis Colts are
This
not a
guy
bad
just
football
retired
team.
in the face of a Super Bowl contender.
Because he's hurting.
That takes some real
Because he's hurting.
resoluteness.
Because he's
He's
hurting.
hurting,
But if
Will.
he
He
feels
doesn't-
healthy, he might change his mind.
He doesn't feel good. If your ankle and your calf is bothering you, and we don't know to what degree, for all we know, he was going to miss half the season and then said to himself, you know what? It's best to get away from the team, not become a major distraction if the quarterback situation is such in desired needs that I'm standing on the sideline week in and week out and people are questioning how come I'm not playing.
And
I'd
Will,
rather
let me say
take
this.
a
And Will,
step away from the game right now, heal my body, and try and come back at a
King,
later date when it makes sense for me and my family.
Ken, Will, far be it for me to step out here on a limb, but I mean, not that I would know, but the man that just got married in March, and you coming home with the new wifey, even though it was somebody he had been with for the previous decade, and you coming home, drugged up on painkillers all the damn time, and so that might have had an impact too. Happy home, happy wife, happy life. That's what I've been told.
Are you trying to say in a couple years you might want to get out of the house?
Happy wife, happy life. That's what I heard. That's what I heard, Key. Key, that's what I was told.
That's not what I hear from
Happy
you.
wife,
I hear you
happy life.
I hear you saying after a couple years of marriage you might want to get back out of the house.
No,
That's what I hear you saying.
I don't know that.
Let me say this. Last thing, we'll see who's right.
No.
Keyshawn, Stephen A., we'll see who's right about the comeback. My biggest point of debate with you guys is this. We disagree. I don't think the fans should be booing, okay? I don't think it's right.
I don't think they should be booing today.
Be bigger. But, Keyshawn, I get their disappointment, and I can't believe we're sitting here today saying he lived up to expectations. I cannot believe that.
You're twisting.
No Super Bowls. That's not
You're
what he
twisting
was
words.
about.
You're twisting words. He didn't live down to him. Go ahead, Key.
Will, you're playing political games. You're twisting words. You're twisting words. I did not say he lived up to expectations. I said he was headed down the right track. I said as a
I'm headed
number
down the
one
right
overall
track too.
pick, he's headed down the
But
right
you're not
track.
there
He's
yet.
certainly.
I agree.
Right.
See, let me tell you something. I'm headed down the right track, Keyshawn, but I'm not here yet.
Right.
You see, I don't know if you can see me.
You ain't gonna catch here.
I'm coming.
I see you.
It's gonna be a
But I'm
while.
coming.
I wouldn't
All
say
right,
that.
we definitely
You're
will
coming the
come
right
back to
track,
talking
though.
about whether or not Andrew Luck will be remembered as a great. Will he be remembered positively? But first, we want to thank Keyshawn Jonhson for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks a
And
lot,
the man
bro.
got
See
to
you,
walk
Keyshawn.
away with $20+ million. So I'm
Yeah,
not crying
he
for
got
him.
to keep his money, $24 million.
He's
That
got
doesn't
100.
hurt. That
He's got
doesn't hurt.
100.
And gets to keep 24
know.
after quitting.
Oh, yeah, he'll be back tomorrow.
Andrew Luck can
Couple
absolutely
years,
live
couple
his
years, couple
best
years,
life.
couple years.
I'll see you guys.
All right, bye, Keyshawn. Andrew Luck's career was cut way too short, but you're about to find out why.